What's up, guys? It's Jackson back from iFlipPhones, back at you today with another video. Today I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions that people from my Discord community left me. I posted a poll yesterday asking if any of y'all had any questions regarding to the phone flipping industry or electronic selling industry, whatever you want to call it, anything around there. I'm going to be answering those questions today. If y'all haven't, go join the free Discord. It's down below. It's full of like-minded individuals who are just looking to make money and scale their electronic reselling business. There's a free link down below. We're almost 300 members strong. And if y'all are new to the channel, my name is Jackson. I'm the owner of High Tech Electronics. I'm a full-time phone flipper, reseller, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, let's jump right into it. Alright, cool. So the first one was J-Mix said, no questions, bro. Just keep doing your thing. Shout out to you, J-Mix. Cool. Next one is Jacob. And he said, how long have you been doing this for? So I originally started the electronic selling business not this February or this past February, but the February before that. So a little over a year and a half now is whenever I originally started selling electronics, which was originally just AirPods. And then I've been doing this full time now for, it will be a year next month. So a year and a half in the industry, and then a year full time, or almost a year full time. Well, the next question is from Spect Welch. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of these names, by the way. It said, how do you handle a device that really isn't selling? So whenever it comes to devices and selling, where the price points that we should be buying majority of these devices at, it should be where we should be able to sell them for relatively quick. I usually don't like to sit on the devices, and this will come in time. There definitely is still devices that I get where I have to sit on them a little bit longer, but as you become more adaptive and more equipped to pricing and all that, and that's just longevity in this industry, generally you know what you're going to need to be able to buy things for in order to get rid of them within a couple days and be able to get a good profit margin from it. But nevertheless, like I said, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes devices do sit, and for me personally, for the tip that I would use is you need to be utilizing every sort of place to sell it. So you need to be posting on Marketplace, you need to be posting on OfferUp, you need to be posting on eBay, you need to be posting on Mercari. That's already 4 platforms on which you can sell. Two of those have shipping options. I personally, like, more than half of my business is being shipped. And if you're worried about, mail and all that, you kind of got to break that barrier, because, if you're just doing personal and public meetups, every single day, that's great and all, but on things where I'm able to ship out, I can do way more sales in a day. So you just kind of got to get over that hump. But it's just making sure that you have your stuff listed on all 4 platforms, and then also just kind of checking the sold listings on all those platforms and making sure that your price point is aligned with what the market is selling with. So that's probably my best advice for you. Cool. The next one, Shooting Faces, said Facebook ads course. I'm assuming the question is, are you going to make an ad course or a Facebook ads course? And yeah, I'm not going to speak too much on the Facebook ads, because I definitely have quite a bit to say about it. It's definitely a tool that I've utilized over the years. Like I said many times, I do run ads. But yeah, I will be making a course for just simple phone flipping and Facebook ads. Actually, I'll probably just encompass both of those. So yeah, I will be making a course that will be showing pretty much A to Z how to start your phone flipping business, and part of that course will be Facebook ads. So just stay tuned for that. I should be making that here shortly. Cool. So the Beast 00777 said, list of most profitable items, ? Best flips to keep an eye out for. So list of most profitable items, that's kind of a really broad statement. I'll just start off by saying exactly what I sell majority on a daily basis. I sell phones, so that's iPhones, Samsungs, smartwatches, which it could be Samsung or Apple, laptops, virtual reality headsets, Nintendo Switches, game consoles, drones, iPads, that is going to be the main stuff that I sell. As far as stuff on the list that I like, my top 3 ones is going to be phones, VRs, and Nintendos. And that's simply because I like the people. One, there's a lot of different phones, there's a lot of different models, so obviously that one's a really good one. The VR headsets, there's so many different models of the VRs, and they're all sell. And then the last thing is the Nintendo Switches, and there's just a lot of good accessories where people come and sell the Switches, and it's just extra free money. So those are going to be my top 3 ones that I like. And then it says, best flips to keep an eye out for. And let me just backtrack a little bit. There are so many other things on this list that you can flip. You know what I mean? These are just things that I specialize in because I already have a really good knowledge base on all these things, to where I can look at them or I can look at postings, or when people reach out to me, I know exactly what I need to buy it for, and it's super, super, super quick. That doesn't mean that I don't try to bring new products in, and I don't test out new products on the regular, which y'all should be doing too. If you're going to have longevity in this industry, you need to diversify your portfolio. But best flips to keep an eye out for, man, I would just say keeping an eye out constantly for anything and everything. With this business, it's really about just being able to be there when the deals come about. You know what I mean? If you're kind of checking Marketplace, Facebook, whatever it is, checking it every once in a while, messaging a couple people here or there, you're really not going to find the better deals, because when the better deals get posted, people like me who are constantly checking are going to be picking them up within 5 or 10 minutes. So I would just say best flips to keep an eye out for is keeping an eye out 24/7. If I'm on my phone scrolling, I'm looking for deals. That's just basically it. I might hop on Facebook or Instagram here or there for a little bit, but mainly if I'm on my phone, I'm checking for deals. So we got another one from Jacob. It says, how common is it for you to take a loss in an item? What's your average profit margins you aim for? So how common is it for you to take a loss on an item? To be honest, I really haven't taken a loss on an item, I would say, in quite some time. If anything, the closest I get to is I might break even on an item, or maybe be a little bit under break even, or a little bit above break even, so maybe make $5 or $10. So it's really not too common for me to take a loss anymore. It definitely does happen. It definitely will happen in the future, because like I said, I do constantly try to pick up new products. So and sometimes you just overpay, and it is what it is. And the best thing to do is kind of at the last one, if something's sitting for a while, I can take a look at that and see, okay, you know, I paid too high for this, and you're able to cut your losses kind of quickly. You know what I mean? I mean, you're always going to lose. You can't have the wins without the losses, to say the least. And so it says, what's your average profit margin you aim for? And it really just depends on the device, but ideally, whatever device I'm getting, ideally I would like to make 80 to 120 in profit. That's a good profit margin. Ideally, base minimum is making like 40 to 50 bucks. That's what I'm gonna have to make for me to go pick up the item. And then anything over 120 is just kind of like icing on the cake. So yeah, I usually aim to be between 80 and 120 on the profit margin. You know what I mean? So Fia said, what are your plans for the future? My plans for the future is just to continue to grow and continue to scale. Ideally, I would like to be one of the biggest buyers in the U.S. and to have a team that makes everything of this more efficient, to where we are able to buy on a range of products and be able to sell on a range of products. And then obviously this wouldn't be just my only source of income. I already do have multiple other sources of incomes, but I would like to have multiple business ventures in the future that have, you know, income coming in from every which direction. So yeah, it's a pretty broad question, but you know, just keep growing and scaling. That's going to be my plan for the future. Okay, cool. So Jacob says, what is your opinion on reselling clothes on Grailed, Mercari, Depop, or Poshmark? So I used to do that. I used to buy and sell Supreme and all the other hype stuff back whenever I was around 19 years old, and I used to sell Jordans and stuff like that. And to be honest, the market is super oversaturated, and this is just my opinion. The market is just super oversaturated. If you're buying stuff that's hype like Supreme, Jordan, Kith, Bape, whatever hype brand is is in season. If you're going to where you have to go get the drops, you're going to have to be fighting against all the bots. There might be some weeks where you don't pick anything up, and then even whenever you do pick stuff up, the profit margin really isn't that great. Whenever I was buying and picking up some Supreme, usually I would make $5 to $10 per item if I hit on anything that week, there was plenty of weeks where I missed every single week. So just to wait to make $5 or $10 really wasn't that worth it to me. But I do know that there are people who do that full time. There are people who, go thrift and go do vintage stuff, and they're able to sell those on Poshmark and Depop and make a full-time living off of it. For me personally, I just don't like it. It's not my bread and butter. But nevertheless, you should try it to see if it is your bread and butter. You never know. You might be really good at it. Me, I tried it, wasn't really that good at it, so I'm sticking to what I know right now. But like I said, we're always bringing in new stuff to try. All right, cool. L Investment said, what got you into reselling and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So what originally, like I said, I've been selling on and off since I was probably about 13 years old. The kids in my middle school and high school, they would resell the snapbacks and the Jordans. That was just a cool thing to do back in the day, and it was an easy way to get a little bit of extra money. So we definitely have been doing it for quite some time. And just to be pretty much brutally honest, and not to get too much into the detail, but the lifestyle that I used to live, necessarily wasn't on the straight and narrow, so to say, and necessarily on a good path. So I used to do a bunch of selling, we'll just say illegally, and I did that for years on years on years. So I don't know, I would like to say that I just kind of have selling in my blood. It's kind of ignites a fire in me, buying something for X price and reselling it for more. There's nothing that I like more in it. But as far as the electronics go, whenever I kind of straightened up a couple of years back, and I got a real job, I just kind of realized that relying on paycheck to paycheck was not going to make sense for me, and I did not like it. And I knew that I could use the same fundamentals and basic knowledge that I use from, say, the streets and past knowledge of stuff like that, but just to change the product up. And I did it, and I just spent all my extra time learning and seeing how I can turn this into a full-time business, and was able to do that. And then the second part of that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like I said before, being one of the bigger wholesale buyers, having a team, continue to scale, and I guess I forgot to add, but coaching and showing other people how to do it. All right. Another question, what are some personal pros and cons of working for yourself? Pros, there's so many pros. I'm able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, whatever time of the day it is. Doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I literally do whatever I want, when I want to do it. I wake up whenever I want. Well, I could. I actually wake up on a certain time every day, but I could wake up whenever I want. I don't have anyone telling me what to do, and it's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, the thing about having a job, at least the last job that I had, was a sales job, and it was a very high pressure sales job, and it was a lot of effort, and I would just leave the building just super burnt out, and what my weekends consisted of was me not even really enjoying the weekend, because I was just resting the entire weekend, because I knew Monday we'd have to start that process all over again. And for me personally, that just wasn't the way to live. You know what I mean? So I love being able to do whatever I want whenever I want. And then cons on the flip side of that is at the end of the day, you don't have someone telling you what to do, so you got to make sure to get up and to put the right foot forward every single day. It doesn't matter if you're having a good month or a bad month, you need to be putting the same amount of effort in every day. Otherwise, whenever a bad month does come around, you don't want to sink. On the flip side of that, I don't have a paycheck coming every single 2 weeks. I eat what I kill. I make money off of the things that I sell, so it's just a constant give or take. But you just get used to it once you're in the game. And then another, I guess the last con would just be keeping up with your sales and making sure that you're implementing taxes and stuff like that at the end of the year. Then the last one from the same guy said, your biggest L and your biggest W. I would probably say that my biggest L was originally whenever I started this and I started buying the AirPods. I had bought a decent amount of fake AirPods on accident, and I was working at that sales job at the time, and I sold a bunch to the people at my job, and I ended up having, and I found that they were fake after I sold them. And me being, I just didn't, I don't want to have that bad karma, so I had to refund a good amount of the people, and then there was a bunch of AirPods that just ended up sticking. I wasn't going to, sell the fake stuff as real, so I just ended up taking an L on that, but it was a lesson learned. You know what I mean? Biggest W, I guess I have two of those. I guess for one item, I think I bought one phone one time for like $300 and sold it for like $800. So it was, that was probably my biggest profit margin on one phone. But my biggest W of all time for sure is landing my best repeat customer off a Facebook outreach. I just stumbled upon a guy selling a phone, reached out to him, he put it on hold for me. I picked up at the end of the day. I told him that I buy phones for a living, and then pretty much it's been almost a year now that we've been working together, and he brings me 20 devices, 10 to 20 devices a week, and he's a super good friend of mine, and so that's probably one of my biggest W's for sure. Israel A97 said, do you plan on getting into bigger flips like cars, watches, houses, etc.? So I actually did used to flip cars kind of around COVID time. I was buying a bunch of cars and flipping them, and to be honest, I'm not going to act like I'm some great mechanic. I love cars at the end of the day. It's my passion. I've bought and sold 30 cars in my lifetime. I love cars. Doesn't mean I am super mechanically inclined. I can do a couple things here or there, but I cannot fix big things. So if you're not mechanically inclined, the profit margins aren't as good for you, and it's just also a little bit risky for you, because if you can't figure something out yourself, you're gonna have to pay someone else to do it, and then that's gonna cut into your budget. Is it a good idea? Sure, you could do it. It's just not for me right now. But in the future, if I have someone on my team who can do it, I would definitely invest, just because I know that it is something that people do a lot. Watches, I'd definitely be open to watches. I've looked at it here and there, but I just haven't started. Houses, definitely in the ballpark, but that would probably be a lot more down the line. But yeah, like I said, we're always looking for other things to sell. And what I can tell y'all guys is the best things that are going to come from are the people that no one's looking at. So you need to find those little niche items that no one's looking at, and then that's where you're going to get your best return from. Cool. And then the Beast 00777 said, how much was Reselerator because you have succeeded with only resell deck or buy yourself? And so for anyone who doesn't know what that is, there is another coach, YouTuber. He's mainly a coach, but he does have a YouTube channel, Chris Schroeder. Shout out to Chris Schroeder. He's a good friend of mine out in Houston, and he has a course called Resell Deck and Reselerator, which is a phone electronic flipping course, and Reselerator is a 4-month mentorship program, and I did purchase that, and I loved everything I got from it, and I definitely recommend it. It's 10 out of 10. And it said, could you see yourself succeed with only a resell deck or by yourself? So 100%, yes, I could, because at the time whenever I had purchased that, I was already, and you can, Chris will attest to this, at the time whenever I purchased that, I was already a full-time phone flipper, and I was already bringing in about $7,000 profit a month just from phones. And the reason why I bought the course after that, because I'm a big advocate of paying for knowledge and kind of taking a more quicker and more efficient route to that, right? Is I would see him and his group members and everything that they were buying and selling, and I was seeing, all the VRs, game consoles, switches, everything that they were buying and selling in the group. He would post pictures of it, and at the time I was only buying and selling phones, and I realized that I was missing out on a lot of profit because of this. But because I was already a full-time reseller, I was already super busy doing pickups, selling stuff, doing eBay, X, Y, and Z, and I just wanted to expedite the process of that learning. So I paid for the course so I could learn quicker, so to say. So I definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. The best investment you can do is invest in yourself, and knowledge is key, man. So yeah, that is going to be all the questions. I hope that I answered this. If y'all enjoyed this, I can do this, once every other week or once a month or whatever y'all want to know, man. And I put a poll for these questions in my free Discord, which is down below. So if y'all haven't, go join the free Discord so you can ask questions, you can reach out directly to me, you can sell directly to me, or you can figure out other places to sell. Whatever it is, man, we are here to help each other. So yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.